Pleasant good morning, one and all. Good morning, welcome to this extra episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Today is Friday, the 25th day of October, 2024. Welcome. And you know your order. Share the live, let people know that we're on. Today, more than any other day, you need to share because this is not a regular schedule. We announced it yesterday, given all the development Wednesday night, and then yesterday, Thursday, Brutus going to court. So we thought it appropriate for us to come here to give you the breakdown. We do the breakdown, we do the analysis. So we are here this morning, and therefore you got to share the live. Share the live, give us the thumbs up. Show your appreciation for us coming here this Friday morning to bring you the information. Another good day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. I got a lot to rejoice for this morning. Many people have a lot to rejoice for. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. It's a privilege to have been afforded to be in the land of the living. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is in the studio. He ready, raring to go, right? We have lots and lots of stuff to unpack today. Lots of pack. So, excuse me, share the live. Let people know that we're on. Because from checking the root call, why we have lots and lots of people in the schoolyard this morning where we schedule the program just before 7 o'clock. I think it was 3 minutes to 7 and so on. I suspect a lot of people are going to be caught unawares because they have not subscribed to the channel on YouTube, nor have they followed the channel on Facebook. And therefore, I have said repeatedly, this is the reason why you are encouraged to do so. Because when we have these unscheduled programs, you're going to get the notification and you're going to be able to be here on time. You're going to be able to be in the schoolyard, and then when the school door opens, you are going to be here. So yes, share. Share this morning more than ever. Everybody here should share about 5. Give us a thumbs up. We have hundreds. What the score is close to 500 live right now, and we only have 20-something thumbs up. No, not good enough. Not good enough, students. You have to do your part so that we can do our part. Because you see, once you give the thumbs up and so on, it activates the algorithm so that people can know what is going on. They're going to know, even if they are not subscribers, they're going to see it appearing, and they're going to be able to log on and to follow. That is why we encourage you, we plead with you, we implore you to make sure that you give us the thumbs up when you come, apart from sharing, the thumbs up on the Facebook page, on the live here now. You get the opportunity, give us the thumbs up. We're going to do our thing. We have done a lot of research for you today. I am not sure, let me say from the beginning, I'm not sure we're going to be able to go through all the matters, but trust me, we're going to go through as much as we can go through, and we're going to come again. We're going to come. We have to expose, we have to speak out about corruption and incompetence. It is so evident in the society today. And I know by now a lot of people depend on us to do the breakdown, to analyze things for you. Are we going to do that today again? Again, I say a wonderful day, Friday. Hope you are looking forward to a wonderful weekend, as I am looking forward to that. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. And Friday, Friday, fantastic Friday, according to Super Blue. Those of you know Soca and Calypso, or whatever, he has a song that he won with. Used to be Blue Boy back in the days. Then he came back as Super Blue. We'd sing Fantastic Friday, right? What you said, the jamming start or the bouncing start. Hell, the bouncing has start. The bouncing start. Brutus bouncing. The bouncing start. The bouncing start. And let me from the outset say to you, I know many of you here are very religious, and you would want to say to me, you should not celebrate, or you should not be happy about a person's downfall or the demise or anything. I am a believer too, but this is one time I'm gonna make an exception, and I'm gonna tell you all why as we go along this month. I'm gonna make an exception. They say judge not, and they say all kind of things. I am going to make an exception, and I will celebrate. And many people who are on the live here now, I see some people who I am sure are Christians too, and I'm sure they are celebrating because of the wickedness. Wickedness shall never prosper Always remember that. Wickedness can't prosper. Good will always overcome evil. And we are seeing it. Well, I can tell you all more about that as we go along. So let me run to do the roll call. As I've said, we scheduled the program when? At exactly 6:57, I think it was. And then immediately some persons came on. Let me run it through quickly. The first was, Peter came in the same time with Sean, the same time with Joseph, the same time with, Peter came in at 6:57. And then shortly after, Sean from upstate New York, Joseph, Magnell, my squaddy, 9430, Sydney, Tony, they came in at 6:58. Then was followed by Gaston from Canada, Patricia from New Jersey, Aubrey, who celebrated a birthday recently, is from Canada, Cedric is from New Jersey, Charlene is here, Anthony from Petersall, then we had is Winston from California, Ruth, Brennan, you see you're coming at number 16, right? Brennan told me this morning that people have a competition, students have a competition to be the first in the schoolyard. And he thought when he came in at 7 sharp, he would have been fourth. But he met number 16. You came in with others at 7, several others. So that is how it goes. Then we have Danny is here, Tessa from Florida, Lennox, Joan from New Amsterdam, the original black man is here, Cecile, Lucius, and Lucius is from Maryland, Winston from the UK, Anthony, Denise from Florida, Courtney from New Jersey, Sean is here, Forbes, Brian, and Brian is from Brooklyn, I know. John is here, William, Carl, Kevin is here, Neville. We have Claremont, Rhonda. This is Rhonda Chance. We have other Rhondas here. Ezzy, Randolph, 12538, V. John, Walterine, Melissa, Raul, my Redmar friend is here. Richard, the Conor man is in the house. He came in at 7:18. Lester, Onika, Inferno Boss, Dexter, Maury is here with us. Kenneth from Maryland, Dorette, Ether, Abera 1111, Randolph, Chandra, Mary, Malcolm, Emerson, Felicia, Sharon, Charles, BX, I haven't seen you in the class for a long while. Gotta watch it. Nigel is here, Siobhan, Everett from Texas, Colin from New Jersey, Vibert, and this is Vibert Lawson. He is in New York. We're in New York. Patricia, Roxanne, Ross, Clarence, Glendon, the man from Untak, 540. Then we have is George, ex-police 11294, George David, a man of records. I'm going to talk about the records now. Colin, Delanio, Jacko is here. Albert, Vibert, old detective, Smithy. Como, 8218. The Angel is here with us. Barbara, Oswald, Rayburn, Dennis from Barbados, Nicola, Wayne from the UK, Kerry is enjoying himself in Guyana, Earl, Phil, Delta 9 Media, Amanda, Royston, me is here, African Queen, Annette, Orin from the UK, Vibert from the East Bank, Grantley, Gavin, Patrick, then it is Dav, Paul, my namesake, Howard, Francis Keith from Melanie, Moses, then it is Neville, Conrad, Rohan is here with us this morning, Alison, Clive from the UK, David, Carlisle, Jean, Vanessa, Diane, Norbert, Colin, and this is Colin Hines, John, then it is Marcus, Lyndon, Rhonda Lane, then I'm still in the house. Then we have Melville, Michael, Morton, Barbara, and Henrik, O'Neill, Gary, Courtney, Jakey from Maryland is here. Baltimore, Maryland. Dwayne, Audrey is here. Is the Patriot is here as well. I'm a patriot too. That is why we are speaking out against corruption and incompetence. Lorraine, another Lorraine, this is Lauren Orr is here. Trevor, Latifa, Doreen, my squad mate from Canada is here. Isabella, Selwyn, and this is Selwyn McClintock. Other Selwyns are here as well. Colin Stanford, Rastaman is here with us. Ashley, Chilo is in the house. R. Crawford is here. Spike, never seen Spike before. Gordon, Bray, Leon is here with us. And then we have Matthew, we have Marlon, Orville, Carol, June, Sandrine Baird, Hopkins is here, Marlon, Troy, Sherwin, Barlett, the man from the hills in Linden, Keon, Bert, and Selwyn. Selwyn is saying, but Selwyn said, morning, every line up going on. How is the Brutus case going? We're going to talk about that. That is the subject. That is the main subject that will take over the entire morning. And he says he's lining up. Well, he said every lining up taking place, I suspect line up on behalf of the accused as well as line up on behalf of the state. So both the prosecution side and the defense side, they are lining up. Big thing going on. Big thing going on. Then we have Matthew is here. And Matthew wants to, the number Matthew is before my time. I can't remember what year he joined. Ronald Harris, well, he's a 6,800 police. Maybe CC or somebody else can come chip in. But Ronald Harris was a 6,800 police. I remember that. Lorraine is here. One of the persons I'm sure who's celebrating with me. Lambert. Then it is Donna, Aubrey, David, Lyndon, Patricia. Then it is Tony is here again. Then you have Rosalind, Kurt, Ian, and then Ian was the last person on YouTube. And then when we went live, the school, when we opened the school gate, Edward is here again, Edward Charles. He always in one or two, he's always here. Then it was Karen, Joan is here again, Kevin, and this is another Kevin. Patricia came back, and who else? Trifosa is here, Rosie Rose is here, Carlton Popo is in the house theater, Lynette from Barbados is here. Then we have Cecile, Shondell, Gordon, I think Gordon's from California, Rigby is here. Lots and lots of people. Well, let me get into it. I'm going to, as I told you, these are the people who are here in the schoolyard, and when the school door open, they rush in to get a good seat, front seat. Front seat is very, very necessary at this time. So there we have it, all the people who came in. Let me make the announcements, and then we're going to go straight into the first announcement. Well, the birthday. Today is the birth anniversary of, drum roll, a man who is right there on the live, Leon Schwartz, 10025. He's on the live. Leon, happy birthday to you. Today is also the birth anniversary or the birthday of a retired Inspector Orman Wins. Used to be at the TSU years ago. Orman is celebrating a natal day today. And also Janice Clements. She used to be at the CID headquarters. So those three persons are celebrating their birthdays today. Leon Schwartz, Janice Clements, and Orman Wins. We don't have any belated because I know you were here just 2 days ago. But we have advanced. We have advanced. The first advanced birthday is going out to Assistant Commissioner Adrian Simon. He celebrates a birthday tomorrow. Also celebrating a birthday tomorrow is Rick Wright. And if I'm not wrong, when last I checked, that both of them are at Region Division 5 at Fort Wellington. Both the commander and I think Rick Wright is deputy, they are celebrating their natal day tomorrow. And the one and only, who is here as well, the one and only, Rich Forever Chilo. Chilo is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. I want to wish all those persons who are celebrating today and tomorrow all the best on your birthday. And a special, special birthday to Chilo. Many of you don't know, but those of you know will know the relationship between me and Chilo. I'm not going to announce it here now, but many people would know. So happy birthday to all of you who celebrated recently, who are celebrating today, and who are going to be celebrated in the near future. All the best to you. May God continue to bless you and to spare your lives to see many, many, many more prosperous birthdays. Now let me go on. I'm going to get spiritual a little bit this morning before bringing Mr. Connery. The first thing I want to say, let me quote from Proverbs 26:27. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27. And it says here, whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. That is what Proverbs say. And then the next one is say, I'll tell you all about the power of prayers, power of prayers. Prayers. And we say, I told you all, they are trying or they tried and they're still trying desperately to ruin me financially and otherwise, to put me on my knees. And I said to you all, whenever I go down on my knees, is to pray for them. And I've been doing that. Others have been doing that as well. And they say the prayers are being answered. With all the revelations and so on, the prayers are being answered. And then let me tell you also, I said more of them, let me say this, more of them will suffer. More of them will suffer. Same faith or similar faith. Because of their involvement in conspiracies and lies in an attempt to destroy the lives of many innocent people. God don't sleep. God don't sleep. They call themselves Christians, or they call themselves religious, whether it's Christian, Muslim, Hindus, or what, they call themselves religious people. They hold the holy book, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, the Gita, and they swear and they tell lies. Them things that will come back to haunt them. If not them, the children or the children's children. I hope it catches up with them. And let me say this too, that, you know, when they had us in court for this trumped up conspiracy to commit fraud charge, one of the most difficult things for me, because I sat down there every day. I went back. I didn't want no virtual nothing. I sat in the courtroom to listen to them and to watch them in their face. And the most painful part for me was to see people go in the witness box, pick up the Bible, pick up the Gita, or pick up the Quran, whatever book, and lie their head off. And they know that they're lying. We knew that they're lying. It can't go like that. It is not going to go like that. They are going to suffer because of that. And then, you know, again, let me give you an next biblical quote. Let me give you an next biblical quote. They said, "Do not touch my chosen people, and do not hurt my prophets. Don't you dare lay a hand on my anointed. Don't hurt a hair on the heads of my prophets. Touch not mine anointed. Touch not my anointed ones, and do my prophets no harm." That's in Chronicles 16:22 or Psalms 105:15. You're going to find that there. And lastly, the last, well, not lastly really, another quotation says from Psalms 35, "Weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning." So when they had us there, I know some people, there are people weeping day and night because of these trumped up allegations. But you know, they say weeping will endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. And that is what going on with them. And you know, old people say, ingratitude is worse than witchcraft. And over we see people saying, "Calm in a bitch." As I tell you, God don't sleep. You ain't get pajama. This is what happens when the tears of innocent people are on you. Tears of innocent people are on you. You got to go through all of this, and more to come. More. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to move into it. Please welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Morning. Thank you, Brother Paul, for a lively opening spell. Thank God it's Friday, and we have to say thanks and praise to the Lord for enabling us to be in the land of the living and to do God's work. So we have God's work to do, so let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's get on with it. Well, folks, you know, right now I'm sure all of you would have been following this saga with Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus. And we're going to give you a recap because things occurred on Wednesday night. And then yesterday he appeared in court. So we're going to walk you through. Perhaps you're going to start. And just in case you don't know, most people know, Brutus was being investigated for financial impropriety, money laundering, and all kind of things. And again, CC, I have to compliment speaking out because we were behind this from the beginning. We were calling on them to do an investigation because we were receiving information as to what was transpiring with the finances in the police, and the police credit union, the police central welfare fund. We were calling and they were denying. It got to the point where when the acting commissioner was asked about money being lodged, money being deposited at the credit union, he denied publicly. No money deposited. And then when they asked about investigation, no investigation is going on. And Brutus said in a court document that when he said so, at the time when he said so, he, the acting commissioner, had informed Brutus about this, to him going and leave facilitate this investigation. So he lied. He lied. And then we kept talking about it. We kept talking about it. We kept talking about it. We promised that we will not let up until action is taken. And then they run to say that they are investigating. And we said then, and we maintain, notwithstanding all that has happened, SOCU is not competent to conduct a thorough and comprehensive investigation into all that is happening. They're talking about Brutus and some other people are named. Our information from the very evidence that is coming out. Lots of people in and out of the force, but lots more are involved. And therefore, I will hope that they will continue, not SOCU, get some independent investigation, an independent body to conduct this. And you know, Brutus said in his document in court that the Attorney General threatened to have the investigation expanded to investigate persons who claimed that they had given Brutus money towards his wedding. You know, he deposited $46.5 million sometime in January into an account. And they're saying that is what triggered the financial transaction or the suspicious transaction report and so on. This is January of this year. An investigation was triggered by SOCU based on a report from the Financial Intelligence Unit. And in July, the king is telling people, the acting commissioner, no investigation. All of those things need to be investigated. All of that need to be investigated. Because I've said, and I'm going to talk about it later, that action by the acting commissioner, when he said publicly on record that no money was deposited and that no investigation is going on, he lied. And that should have amount to either perverting the course of justice or what they call something in office. They call it Brutus is charged for that. The phrase escapes me at the moment. The misconduct in public office. That and more. That and more. So we're saying that how do you not investigate all of that? The acting commissioner said in writing, up to now he has not denied that is his statement and signature, that he collected $8.5 million from a businessman. He counted it, he said, and then he paid for Brutus' wedding. That is what he said, he got a refund. You telling me that is that misconduct in office, public office? And the people are saying, SOCU and others are saying, that is based on that statement and other statements that they discontinued the investigation into the $46.4 million. Madness. That shows that no proper investigation what was being done, even though you see them come up with 240 charges against Brutus. Other people, there's no way that all this $500 million the same bank accounts could have been facilitated without the involvement of others in the police force and outside. And we ain't stupid, we big, but we ain't stupid. So the thing started. Then what happened? We learned, let me go to my notes. We learned that Wednesday night, I got word Wednesday that the police were looking for Brutus. They went to his home, they say, and they couldn't find him. Right? They said they went to his home, they couldn't find him. That's Wednesday morning. And I learned that perhaps they were looking for him. They were looking for him. And then what happened? We saw Wednesday night, big drama Wednesday night, where SWAT team, or two SWAT teams, they are saying, and members of SOCU went to the living quarters of Brutus. And for those of you who don't know, Brutus occupies living quarters in the police compound, the police officer mess compound in Yonge Street. So imagine Brutus lives in Yonge Street in police quarters with his wife and child. And police SWAT team, they're saying two teams, men heavily armed, masked and all sort of thing, went there, they say to execute a warrant, to execute a search warrant. Brutus is saying, give it a try. I was hoping to get it uploaded so I can show it to you, but maybe we'll get that another time. He's saying that he said that he was not home. And when he went home there, he saw these people there and they came to him, and the superintendent Singh told him he's there to execute a search warrant. He said Singh did not show him the warrant, neither did Singh read the warrant to him. He objected. He said, well, Singh alone or the person who is named on the warrant can come in, but the others are not allowed to enter the premises. On that basis, he said that they left shortly after and they went away. Now, we have a lot to talk about that and other stuff. You went there to execute a warrant. They said they got a search warrant. And you didn't execute the search warrant. This is a man we say looking for all day. You not arrested, and they all left and they went away. That is Wednesday night. That is Wednesday night. So drama unfolding. Drama unfolding. Brutus gave a statement to the media Wednesday night. And I have it to play at some stage. I'm not sure if it can be played today, but we have a lot of time. This is not going away. He gave, and in that statement he gave to the media, he said a lot of things. He said a lot of things that we want to dissect. But before I go further, let me bring in Mr. Conway to address the parts that I have dealt with so far, if he has anything more to say on that. Yeah, CC, go ahead, please.
Yeah, the axis of this investigation was when allegations surfaced that Brutus attempted to money launder, I think $16.5 million in the police credit union. And that's where it all started. And allegations started to surface about the police consumers, about the quartermaster stores, and a whole multiplicity of financial irregularities. We had denial and all sorts of things then. But now things coming into place. And we said before, and you said it also, that other persons got to be involved. He could not have done it alone. No way, based on the allegations against Brutus, that he could have done it alone. Other persons had to be involved, including the squatter. Well, the squatter also wrote a statement, that really implicating himself, allegations abound. So what playing out now, is based on the allegations that were made, and based on investigations by Suku, although he's saying and still maintaining that Suku is not competent to do this in investigations. Although in some charges I saw some what appear to be some clear-cut cases, but we're saying Suku is not competent. They don't have the professional or the technical competence to really investigate. But yes, we understand 240 charges, and then some were laid yesterday. But more about that later as we go on in the program.
Yeah, well, let me address again. Let me break down what took place there on Wednesday night. First of all, people are questioning the deployment of the SWAT team. I am also questioning the deployment of the SWAT team. As far as I'm aware, the SWAT team is usually used when you have violent persons to apprehend. So if you have a suspect who is violent, maybe barricaded criminals, bank robbers, so you deploy a SWAT team. SWAT is abbreviation for Special Weapons and Tactics. People who are specially trained to get in to deal with those situations where people are violent, maybe guns are used, hostages are taken. That is the responsibility of the SWAT team. We would recall, then you want to know, as far as I am aware, and I used to be in operations at the police force years ago, at the Deputy Commissioner Operations Office. The SWAT team idea came around that time, and I was always opposed to it, because I said that despite what is going on in Guyana, there is no need for a dedicated SWAT team. Now, there are different models of SWAT. The model that we have is where you have some men who are trained, and they're there in that unit all the time to respond to any situation. The other model that I know of, you have men who are trained, they have their equipment with them, and they do regular patrols and so on. And if a situation comes about, then they're called, they come together, they do the briefing, and then they're deployed to take care of the situation, right? So the model, I wasn't never comfortable with the model. This SWAT model that you have in Guyana is a politically inspired model. And with Henry Green, I was in operations, Henry Green was the commissioner. Came back from a meeting one day, and he said that he was instructed to form a SWAT team. And I said, well, for what reason? How are you going to go about this thing, right? And I made the point then, and I'm making it now, because at the time I said, look, there's no situation occurring in Guyana if the intelligence is provided, we can get people, competent people to go and to deal with it, no matter how violent they are. We have people who, at that time, who are trained to deal with it. And so, therefore, it never found favor with me. Anyhow, they put together this SWAT team. I think shortly after I left the force, the SWAT team came into being. Then the SWAT team used to be, when they got a SWAT team, as far as I know, any SWAT or emergency, for example, I was at the TSU for a number of years, became officer in charge. The only body can activate or deploy the TSU, and I suspect the SWAT team as well, is the commissioner or the man of the operations, the deputy commissioner, the person who sits in the operation chair. Nobody, no divisional commander or nobody else can call and say deploy. I don't know what happens now, but I'm telling you that is going to happen. Those are highly trained team, and therefore the only instructions from the commissioner or the man at operations. And when I was at operation, if I got to deploy somebody from the TSU, I always liaise with the commissioner, right? And the thing is deployed. We saw a couple of years ago, a SWAT team was deployed to the Essequibo Coast, and a member of the SWAT team ended up shooting and killing Oren Boston. You remember that? It was a member of the SWAT team where they barged into his home, shot him dead in his bed. And then they came out. The same, I'm going to call it, because the first report I saw of it is when Big Smith News claimed that this man who was in his bed lying attempted to take away the firearm from a police. And as a result of that, he was shot and killed. The evidence later showed that that was a lie. The man was lying in his bed naked alongside his wife when he was shot and killed. And up to now, because at the time, Nigel Oppie was the man carrying out the function of the commissioner, and when questioned, he said he did not deploy the SWAT team to the Essequibo Coast. The man at operations at the time was Ikin, who is now acting commissioner of police. He ain't said nothing up to now as to how that team was deployed. They end up shooting and killing Oren Boston. Later on, one rank was charged with manslaughter. I don't know what has happened to the case. One rank was charged with manslaughter. So the question, we come back to Wednesday night now, who gave the authority for the SWAT team to be deployed to Brutus quarters? Who gave that instruction? That clearly had to be an overkill. This is not a man, and I ain't batting for Brutus, we understand. I am not defending Brutus. I'm just saying, we're talking about a system. How can you deploy, under what justification you have for deploying a SWAT team, 2 teams they say, along with the SOCO officers, to the man quarters in the police compound? The man lives in the police compound and you deploy SWAT in the police compound. This is ridiculous. This and again, nobody's going to investigate to find out how this thing play out, why SWAT teams were deployed. And here is the kicker for me. SWAT team, along with a set of men from SOCO, are deployed, they say, to execute a warrant. They did not execute a warrant because Brutus said he did not allow Singh, and he didn't allow them to go. He wanted Singh alone to go. We're going to address that in a short while. And having been refused entry, the SWAT team and they didn't search the place, nor they did not arrest Brutus. They left and went away. So what was the purpose of them going there? Who sent them? And for what reason? I can only believe that based on what transpired, they went there, the aim is to intimidate, or perhaps even worse. The aim was to intimidate, or perhaps worse. And again, as we said, you're going to hear nothing more about it. You're not going to hear. SWAT teams deployed. Listen to this carefully, folks. Listen to this carefully. Some of you who are familiar with the geography will know what I'm talking about. As 2 SWAT teams are deployed to Brutus's quarters, to the quarters occupied by Brutus in the police compound at Evelary, Young Street, Evelary, just opposite police headquarters. And my information is one of those apartments. He has an apartment there. And also in that same building, the man in charge of SOCO and the man in charge of admin, that's Karimbash and Budram, they live there too. This is absolute madness, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And let me tell you this about the thing, and Mr. Carter going to pick up on this too. This warrant what they talk about, because I see Brutus, who they're claiming, a lot of people were not knowledgeable, claiming that he was within his right and he shouldn't. The search warrant Yes, if the police come to you to search, they have to read the warrant to you, not give you the warrant. They have to show you they have a warrant. They have to read the contents of the warrant to you. And here, this thing what Brutus telling you, let me debunk this right away. That people who named on the warrant can do the search. The only person who is named on the search warrant is the person who swore before the magistrate or the GP. And if you and the policemen who are here, check the Summary Jurisdiction Procedure Act. I think it's 1002. Check that. Check the Criminal Law Offenses Procedure Act. And for policemen, check Standing Order 76. Because the act tells you about the how you go about to get a search warrant. And Standing Order 76, I think it's 76, tells you about the procedure to be employed in executing a warrant, a search warrant. Tell you that you shouldn't throw thing around. You got to even remove something, must put it back. You must be courteous. Standing Order 76 speaks extensively to that. So this thing with Brutus telling people and people jumping with it, because I saw the comments on social media that only the person who's named on the warrant should be allowed. That is nonsense. That is not so. The only person that is named on a warrant, the only person that is named on a warrant is the person who swore to the information. That is the only person. And the warrant too, one of the things that caught me by surprise is that they were there in the night. The law says that a warrant has to be executed between 5 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the night. 5 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the night. However, the magistrate or the person who issues the warrant can give an other time. So if you go there and you make a case that this warrant has to be executed 10 o'clock in the night or any time outside that window between 5 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the night, the magistrate has to stipulate that in the warrant. If that timing is not stipulated, it means it's 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we understand. We teach in policemen as well because these things are not taught. People run into your place until they get warrant. And then if you recall some weeks ago, when they ran into Melly Mel's mother home, then the police come with a release to say, and that did AG Chambers to tell us that a copy, well, they said the original copy was left with the resident, Melly Mel's mother. Nonsense. You don't leave no copy with nobody. You read the warrant to them. You read the warrant. And then you go about conducting your search. The person, the owner of this property, has a right to say, well, look, I want 100 people coming here. And the reason being, if 100 people come, you can't keep an eye because the owner, occupier of the home, has a right to observe the search. And if 3-4 people come in and they're all over the place, how are you going to be able to monitor to ensure they don't leave anything there? And from a policing point of view, too, you don't want that. Because if something is found, you don't want them bring the argument to say, well, I wasn't there when it was found. I was in the living room and they said they found it in the kitchen. No. The public got to accompany the police. They can go so far to ask, let me see your pocket. Make sure you don't have anything that you're planting in the house. They can go so far to make that request. And the training is, especially in the standing order, might not have been explicit, but I know the training is if such a request is made, then you should facilitate that request. So I said, can I see your pocket to make sure you ain't got no bullet in there? We got left in the house, a plant. You ain't got no weed in your pocket. These things are straightforward things that policemen were taught, but now, what happened now? Nobody is being taught anything. Mr. Conway, let me bring you in to talk about what I just said, especially as it relates to the search warrant. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, let me go back to the SWAT. Like you, I am on record as saying I didn't see any need to establish a SWAT team, and I was shocked when I saw footage of the SWAT at police headquarters, outside the quarters of Karimbash, outside the quarters of Budram, and outside the quarters of Brutus. They're all in one big structure, separate quarters. And what is the squad the SWAT doing there? What is the SWAT doing there? Eh? Who deployed the SWAT? You ask the question. Who deployed the SWAT? Just like what happened in Essequibo, where they left Georgetown, travel all the way, and go and commit murder, kill Boston, committing murder, Although the guy get chance of manslaughter, but it's more now they committed. And Happy saying, who was performing the duties of commission, say, hey, meeting Senate there. And the procedures that the person in charge of operations has control there. And Hicken was the person there, and he didn't say a word, so we know who sent it. And here's now, I wonder who deployed it, because the person in charge of operations now is Watts. Did Watts send the team, or did the commission himself say go and search a place? It is amazing. Police headquarters of our places you deploy in the SWAT team. Yeah? And then we go down to warrants. They said they're going to execute a warrant. Up to now, we know what they were looking for. What they were looking for. Because they were doing investigation since maybe in January. And up to now, they're looking for evidence. Up to now. And then to boot, the DPP and advised 240 charges. So at this stage, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And if we go down to warrants, is that if you want a warrant to be issued, you have to go before a magistrate in whose jurisdiction you're going to execute it, and the magistrate will have to sign it. And if the magistrate isn't there, you go to a justice of the peace, and it's set down in the Criminal Law Procedure Act, the Summary Jurisdiction Prevention Act 1002, and the Criminal Law Procedure Act 1001. It's laid down there in law, and it got to be specific. You got to be clear. You got to put exactly what you are looking for. What you are looking for. And let me make a point. And it's got to be confidential too. Because we know police already, you go and you apply for a warrant, and the rest know, and then you call somebody and say, hey, the police come in there for execute a warrant to you, and the man will get rid of stuff that you're looking for. I always remember the case with Nanlal when they were investigating for thief in law books. Here is it, an officer went in open court before the magistrate and appeal and applied for a warrant. And then the magistrate say, oh, a warrant for search Nanlal premises, come back at 2 o'clock or thereabout. And by then, words leak out, and I think Nanlal, they adopted a certain course of action. They couldn't find anything. So I'm making the point, the training mood that the thing has got to be confidential. That you don't go open and say, hey, I get a warrant to search this person, please. And then you gotta be strict. You got to say exactly what you are looking for. Because if you want to carry away other things there, later on, any good lawyer going to appeal to the court for it to be suppressed. The Americans call it the forbidden fruit of a poisonous tree. You got it for drugs, you can't go and carry other things because it is not stated in the warrant. Therefore, you got to be specific. You got to be very specific and say place exactly where is it. Some smart detective would put on and any other additional evidence or some more words to the effect, seen so that they know if they find any other things, it could be tendered in court. But the thing is that the warrant has got to be clear and it's got to be issued by a magistrate. And if the magistrate is not available, then you go to a justice of the peace. And as you mentioned, Paul, the only person name who is mentioned there is the person who swore to the information. That person name is mentioned there. Another nonsense of Brutus called talking that, hey, that person's name who mentioned the only they could go in there. And when you're going to execute a warrant, you got to be careful too, And you don't care a whole set of people when they're searching, some in the kitchen, some in the toilet, some in the living room, some in the thing room, You got to be very, very careful in terms of what you're looking for and the amount of persons you take there. And then even the occupants of the home, has got to be with you all the time. So you can say, hey, in his presence, you found X or you find Y or you found Z. Now you get him in the bedroom and then a man come in, say, I just find this thing in the kitchen or this find thing in the toilet. You wouldn't be able to really have a proper case against the person. And there are allegations that police has plant evidence to people, plant evidence against people, you know. They go and say they find some wrongs when they go and say they find drugs or anything. So you gotta be careful. And also you gotta be careful that you don't damage the people's property. That the thing has got to be very be properly done. It's got to be properly done before in the presence of the person who the occupants of the building. So there's it. And the search warrant has got to get a time. There's got to get a time. The last one was see with Melly Mills, grandmother place there where they had the time was blank, and then below the signature of the magistrate, they put in timings already. So the thing is that wherever they warrant, the timings when they warrant supposed to be issued. Paul, you mentioned about 5 in the morning to 8 in the night. But then if in other circumstances, the magistrate or judge could fix a time based on the circumstances, based on what you put up there. So for me, I didn't see what warrant they were executing, what they were looking for Brutus place. And let me make it clear, I hold no brief for Brutus. Brutus is not my friend. I hold no brief for Brutus, but I'm just looking at the law. I'm just looking at the police procedure, what needs to be done when you applying for a warrant and when you executing a warrant. And if you don't do certain things, next thing people are going to say, hey, that what you found there was the forbidden fruit of a poisonous tree, and it will be suppressed in court.
Yeah, I'm showing you guys. This is the warrant that was said to have been executed at Melly Mills' mother's home. And you can see the only name this is the person, in this case, Manager Singh, Assistant Superintendent of Police. That is the person who swore to the information. Nobody else is mentioned there. So don't worry with this bull crap about Brutus telling people. The only person who is named on the warrant is the person who swore before the magistrate or the JP for the warrant to be issued. And as Mr. Conway said, you have to be specific as to what you're searching for. And policemen on this live, or those who are going to listen to this, if you check Standing Order 76, it tells you that if, let's say, you apply for a warrant to search for a firearm and you find drugs, the recommendation or the teaching is that you then go back and you get the next warrant for the drugs. Now that you have a warrant for the firearm and then you're picking up drugs, and you have no authority to search for that. Check Standing Order 76. It is clearly spelled out in that. But having spoken about Standing Order 76, you will recall only recently the Police Complaints Authority had to make the remark that he did a survey with 300 policemen from senior superintendent rank all the way to constable. And he said 90-something% of them don't know about the standing order and the relevant orders and constitutional rights of people. So this is what I'm telling them now by being new. So that is why we come here and we try to teach directly to the standing order. I am almost certain it is 76, which speaks to how you execute search warrants. So please, God, I don't teach these policemen these things. That is why they're making all these mistakes. I know one of the students asked a wonderful question. As Mr. Conway said, this investigation started sometime in January, we understand. It would appear as no search warrant was executed then when the investigation started. But now, when you said, the police said that the investigation was concluded, that's what Soku said, and the file sent to the DPP for legal advice on the 1st of October this year. And here we have a case where in 1st of January, sorry, 1st of January, what am I saying? I'm getting the time mixed up. 4th of October, I'm correct. Let me repeat that. The file was sent for legal advice on the 1st of October this year. And they were awaiting advice. And a day before this man appeared in court, the man appeared yesterday, the 24th. You go on the night of the 23rd to say you're executing warrant. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? when you're already done, according to you, you complete this investigation. Well, it could be that you're continuing the investigation. I won't deny that. But you already get advice to charge 240 charges, you say. So what are you looking for? That can only be an attempt to intimidate Brutus. And again, like Conway Iolo brief for Brutus. But I'm talking about the law and the police standing orders and all of that. You are going now to search. What are you searching for? You can, as I said, it's got to be intimidation and or even worse. I'm going to let you to leave you to figure out what can be worse. I know, looking at it, sorry I didn't get the video to show you. I'm going to try, I promise you, I'm going to try to get it to Monday to show you the video where Brutus is giving a statement to the media. He's making a statement after the police have left. And one of the first things that caught my attention, that was sometime in the night after 8 o'clock, definitely after 6 o'clock. The national flag and the police flag flying during the night in the police compound. That's to show you how standards are falling. Standards are falling. Flags are not supposed to be left flying in the night. Back in the day, my day, and even before or after, you have the arrangement at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, but all in the days you will get the bugler blowing the reveille and all this everything, you lower the flag. Flags are lowered. When the flags are lowered, everybody start up to attention. Now you get nighttime. I sure that thing was after 8 o'clock or sometime then. Police flag flying, national flag flying in the officers' mess compound where Brutus and other senior officers reside. My God. And then somebody asked a question too. Let me address it there. One of the curious things to me, I see the whole barrage of media personnel who were there. How did they know? How did they know that this was going on? How did they know that SWAT and SOCU would have been there to search Brutus' premises? I wonder. I wonder if the Corporate Communication Unit will issue a release to advise us how all these things play out. I noticed they're quiet since then. I noticed that they have been very, very quiet. Now, guys, for the Wednesday night, CC, you want to say anything more on that?
Yeah, the warrants, you know, is standing order number 76 on pages 310 to 323. Let me repeat. Standing order number 76, pages 310 to 323. And it speaks about apprehension, commitment, distress, ejection, and search warrant. I don't have time to go into all of them, but they could read this standing order. I repeat, standing order number 76, pages 310 to 323. And it speaks about apprehension, commitment, distress, ejection, and search warrants.
So, CC, what happened to sentencing warrant, man? The Police Corporate Communication Unit spoke to us about sentencing warrant, what is standing order, and address stand. The standing order is deficient, man. It cannot address sentencing warrant.
I remember the sentencing warrant. I remember it very, very clearly. You know, they introduced a new warrant. You know.
All right, let me go to the next part of this thing. Let me get this picture to show you all. This one is how we're gonna talk about this. Now, this is yesterday. This is yesterday, and this is Assistant Commissioner Brutus turning up to the Georgetown Magistrate Court. I think it was Court 5 to answer the charges. I understand 30 charges were read to him. As you can see, he's there fully dressed in uniform. And again, on social media, there are those who saying that it was appropriate because he's still a member of the force, and there is a exchange of opinion. Well, let me say this, without any fear of contradiction. Let me say this. It was inappropriate for Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus to turn up in court yesterday to answer criminal charges dressed in uniform for many reasons. First of all, it has never happened before. We had assistant commissioners who were charged before. Serving assistant commissioners charge. Policemen are never allowed to go to court in the uniform when discharged. To make this one worse, Brutus, by his own admission, and by the admission of everyone who is in authority, is on administrative leave. He said so in his filings to the court, that he is on administrative leave. He produced the documents to support that. So how is it that one who is on administrative leave is dressed in uniform and going to court? I see Big Smith and them writing a lot of crap about the man smart. He should not have been allowed to go to court in uniform. Don't question me as to what procedure you would have used or so. Because they did not do the right thing, that is why that happened. Because Brutus should have been arrested and taken to court. If they had arrested him and took him to court, then he would have, if he was in uniform, he would have been instructed to take off his uniform. But they allow you to turn up like a sweet boy, the man dressed in uniform, police uniform. And I am saying that the only reason why he would have done that is to show defiance, to further embarrass the government and the police force. So here I am in uniform. Nonetheless, say that I can be dismissed, but here I am in uniform. It's a big embarrassment because the proper procedure was not done. The man is on administrative leave, sent on administrative leave by the Police Service Commission. Right? The man is the head, at the time when he was sent on administrative leave, he was the head of Special Branch. Special Branch people don't wear uniform. So for all those people who have been saying all manner of things, let me repeat that. At the time when Brutus was sent, so up to now, he is on administrative leave. So he has no authority to be wearing uniform. And then at the time when he went on administrative, when he went on administrative leave, he was the head of Special Branch. He is the head of Special Branch. Special Branch, for you who don't know, is the intelligence arm of the force. They don't wear uniform. So how can people try to justify? Well, I guess it's out of ignorance, yeah? They don't know, and therefore they make these statements that some people say, yes, he's a member of the force, and therefore he can wear uniform. Yes, he's a member of the force. He remains a member of the force, notwithstanding what Nandalal said, but they're going to remove him from office and all that. We're going to address that a little later. He remains a member of the force, but he's on administrative leave. And he, at the time going on administrative leave, he is the head of the Special Branch. So, and then, well, I didn't see that, but people said, the man are going for answer charge, and the junior ranks are paying compliments to him and all them everything. Any compliment that is paid to him ought to be a middle finger salute. The same one that was reserved for ropesmen some years ago, last year that was at the Route March. Inappropriate. And I'm saying this is not an accident. Brutus deliberately did that to embarrass the organization more, to rub his thumb or to thumb his nose on the government. And more than that, Brutus, I feel, is aware that once he turned up in uniform, they're going to handcuff him. They're not going to handcuff him as they did to the others. So he turned up there. He also turned up in uniform, in my opinion, to gain the sympathy of the court. Because you turn up in uniform, they're going to remand you. They're not going to remand you to prison because you're there looking very official and all of that. All of that. And again, and I said when I'm talking about the, let me bring up the tape to show you all with the handcuff story. Because look what happened. One moment. Look. This is a picture from News Source. These are the people who appeared in court yesterday. Right? So watch. Brutus, arm swinging there. His wife, arm swinging. Look, George, this is the man who was the driver. You see where you're on there? Handcuff. Look, the businessman, some Zafar Ali, handcuff. So Brutus playing them. He knows that if he got a coat in uniform, they can, or they would not. Let's say they would not handcuff him. So he goes in uniform. He goes there in uniform. And I'm saying, a show of defiance. Another attempt to embarrass the force, embarrass the country, because that is a photograph that is going to be circulating all over the world. Police officer in uniform, assistant commissioner, appearing in court to answer, because when he appeared there, the expectation that he would have been answering 240 criminal charges. 240 criminal charges. Yesterday, only 30 charges were read. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for this. See, what are your views about this man appearing in court in uniform?
For me, Paul, it was criminal for Assistant Commissioner Brutus, who is on administrative leave, who is the head of the Special Branch, to appear fully dressed in uniform. And he were no deputy commissioner thing, you know, you were in the assistant commissioner. And I was there. I was there in court. And I saw whilst he was climbing up the step there at the bottom floor, those ranks in uniform, they stood up to him, stood up to him, you know, and he thing there. So a part of it, you know, is maybe going to show that he's not no flight risk. But for me, Brutus should have been arrested. He should have been arrested and escorted to court. He mustn't come on his own. He mustn't come on his own. They arrest we name the who was Minister of Finance, Ashley Singh, and then they put bangle upon him, although he said that he wore it as a badge of honor. Another person they arrest and put the thing on him. So why Brutus must be an exception to the rule? But then he may say he turn up there, people get sympathy, you know, he's not a flight risk, and so, you know, they will remand him. But for me, it was criminal, I'll repeat him, it's a criminal for Brutus, who is on administrative leave, who is a head of the special branch, to have appeared in court fully dressed in uniform. He should have been arrested and they take away the police clothes from me and like got it in civilian clothes, properly escorted.
And again, it brings into question, what was the purpose of the SWAT and the Soku people at Brutus's residence Wednesday night? The night before he appeared in court, they went there to search, maybe they said they had a search warrant, they searched, they arrested him. And then the next day, the man is allowed to turn up in court in uniform, unprecedented. And as one of the students said, he should have got another first, in that he should have been the first senior rank to have been handcuffed and shackled in uniform. That is what should have happened. But you know, it's an animal farm we live in. Remember in 2021, they traveled all the way, so who sent people all the way to the Timiri airport because I was due to arrive to answer a charge that they filed against me. And they sent people to arrest me at the airport when I arrived. They sent people in the courtyard, the Georgetown Magistrate Courtyard, on the 15th of October, 2021, to arrest me when I appear to answer the same charge that they found me to appear for. And here it is, Brutus, 240. Somebody said 235 yesterday, one of the outlets. Somebody tell them 235, that's the number of wickets, test wickets Garfield Sobers got. So it looked like 235 is the number of charge this disgraced assistant commissioner will get. He should not have been allowed to go to court in uniform. But I ain't gonna blame the magistrate. Some back in the day, some of the magistrate will tell you you're inappropriately dressed as a criminal defendant. Go and get something and come again. You had magistrates in the day, back in the day would have told them that. They would have told them that. But the man come and parade. Now I want to see this as before we move on to the matters yesterday. I want to see, because the matter, he appeared, he's put on bail, $6.2 million, you understand? We can go into some details in a short while. I want to see, he has to return on the 18th and the 24th of November. 18th and 24th. I want to see turn up then again in uniform. I want to see him turning up on the 18th and the 21st of November to answer the other charges that are pending in uniform. In uniform. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see how we can work out. Let's see how it's going to work. Let's see how it's going to work. Now, the next thing that I need to say, now people are asking the question, what happens now that he has been charged? 30 charges read to him yesterday. He's on bail. To go back on the 18th and the 21st of November. He's to lodge his passport. He's to report to Soku once every month. I'm not sure what the date. I think that might have been mentioned in the granting of bail as a condition of the bail. Now, let me say this. What should happen now? Now, and let me hope Jagobin Jai Singh at the Secretary Police Service Commission and all of them listening. What should happen now? As of yesterday, or first thing this morning, a report should have been sent by the extended squatter to the Police Service Commission, advising them that Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus appeared before the magistrate yesterday, charged with several offenses and is on bail. Let me do y'all work for y'all, you know. Y'all not little dons, y'all big time dons. So the force has to write administration, and that come from the extended squatter, the acting commissioner, has to write to the police service commission to advise them that Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus appeared before the magistrate yesterday to answer several criminal charges. He was placed on bail to return to court. You got to state what the nature of the charges are and all that. He appeared in court and answered to 30 if you want to set criminal charges. You can say so if you want to. That is not necessary. What is necessary is that the date he appeared and that he answered these charges, or the charges were read to him because they are indictable. He was not required to plea. The 30 criminal charges were read to him, and he is put on bail. And on the basis of that, to the Police Service Commission, the Police Service Commission now has to interdict him and place him on half pay with effect from yesterday. So yeah, he still remains a member of the force. Don't worry, this nonsense when Nandalal said, "What get take him out?" No. The rule of law, the presumption of innocence, because Brutus is still presumed innocent until he is found guilty by a competent court and all that other things. Let me read that back. Despite all what they're saying and all what they're saying and so on, Brutus, Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, is still presumed to be innocent. That is his constitutional right until he's found guilty by a competent court. So this thing we're here to talk about dismiss and dismiss the work, so they can go ahead and do that. They can go ahead and dismiss him, but it will be unconstitutional. And we know that some of these people ain't got no respect for the Constitution. I know that from personal experience, because I had to take the president and them to court when they suspended unlawfully, unconstitutionally, the Police Service Commission that I chaired, and I won. The judge said that the act of the president was unlawful, unconstitutional, ultra virus, Article 225 of the Constitution, null, void, and of no legal effect. So we know that and there's only one occasion where they violate the Constitution. So they can go ahead and dismiss, but that will be a violation of Brutus's constitutional right. So the correct thing is for him to be interdicted and placed on half pay. Don't question the half pay thing. There's a school of thought that you can't even take away the half pay. But the practice has been that once a person is interdicted, placed on half pay, pending the outcome of the criminal charges. That is important. Pending the outcome of these criminal charges, which implies that if the outcome is favorable to Brutus, I mean, if you get off from all of these charges, you got to reinstate him. You have to reinstate him. Oh, you should reinstate him. You don't have to. You can decide to work on some deal and let you go your way. But if you want to dismiss him, then he has a strong constitutional case against you. It also means that if the outcome is unfavorable, then he is dismissed. He is dismissed. Yes, Jillian. He is, and that is a provision. This is a constitutional provision that a person is deemed to be innocent until proven guilty. The presumption of innocence. Having said that, I have been saying repeatedly on this program, this commissioner acting that we are, and know about that, because he has dismissed people, and I'm gonna call them again. Simon in the Quindenbacher's killing, the Nobriga, McLennan, he dismissed them on the day they appeared in court. So why you haven't dismissed Brutus yesterday when he appeared in court? Dismiss them, but that is wrong. There's a presumption of innocence. There's a presumption of innocence, right? So they got a right, and he has to be interdicted pending the outcome of the charge. Now, I want to ask, before I bring in Mr. Conway, the question is, and I'm being devil's advocate. I'm sure many times Ropes and Ben and Ikin and them have considered it. Now that he has been charged with 30 criminal charges, he lives in the police quarters. Will he be allowed to continue to occupy the police quarters? Will he continue to enjoy all those benefits that he spoke about, free food, and would he be allowed to enjoy all of those things? Would his mother-in-law be allowed to live in the police quarters in the Monkey Branch? I know she moved yet. I've been talking about it all the time. You know, when the Chief Justice said on the 28th of June, 2021, that she found this, she said, senior superintendent as he was then, to be self-serving. They took it lightly. Maybe they did not know what is the meaning of self-serving. When we see it, we see what is the meaning of self-serving. Sit down there, big hustle, big, of course, allegations of big hustle. Install your mother-in-law in a police quarter in the Mounted Branch compound when ranks are there, dying to get some living quarters. That is what he is. Well, this part is not alleged, this is what he did. The other thing about money and things, we can read the details to you, man. Sit back, share the live, share. We need to get more. Share the live. Give me a thumbs up. More coming. I can give some of the details of the charges that were filed yesterday. Call a friend, tell a friend. More coming. You think I talk everything yet? I'm gonna read some of the particulars of the charges that were read to him yesterday. Call a friend, tell a friend. Don't miss it. Slow and Conway, tearing tail. That is how it say. Guy this slang, man. Slow and Conway, tearing tail. You're gonna want to miss it. And when you come back on the replay, it's not as sweet. We know that. The live is sweeter. But when somebody tell you slow said that, and slow the Conway said that, some of the sweetness is removed. You want to be on the live. So share the live. Give me thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. And let me put up this other arm. Hold on. And let me tell you, I'm still telling you that if you want to make a contribution to the show, what is the number scrolling across there? If you want to make a contribution for us to continue with our expenses, to do research and to do all other things, platform fee, and help me out. That is the number. And I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have made contributions so far. All of you. Quite a few persons have responded and they have made contributions. Some people have asked if they don't have Zelle, what they can do. We're trying to work out something to say if you don't have Zelle, how you can contribute to this program. It takes some effort, it takes some resources to be able to come here and to give you what we are giving you here. And you know the value of what we are giving you here. You know the value, right? So he's living in quarters. Is he going to be, will he continue to live there? I don't know. You see, some of these things are unprecedented. His mother-in-law, his wife's mother, lives in the police quarters in Mounted Branch compound. At least she lived there. I don't know if they moved yet. So what is going to happen there? But let me ask the next question, the next teasing question in light of all of this. Is Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, a licensed firearm owner? Or is he allowed to carry a service firearm? In either case, what will be the position now? What will be? These are questions that have to be considered. And I know these dancing people we have there would not consider them until something dramatic happens. These are things to be considered. Will this man continue to get free food? Got the man writing thing that he don't pay his salary for how many years? He not touch his salary because of all the perks of the office. So now that he is charged, remember he's not convicted, he's presumed innocent, but it's how you can walk out. I don't know. I am just being the devil's advocate and I am throwing it out there. Let me bring in Mr. Conway before I move on to the cases yesterday. CC, I have thrown out some tantalizing questions there. What are your comments, my brother?
Well, you are correct, that he has been charged. And the next thing is interdiction. And I hope that the chairman of the Police Service Commission, the bishop, will rush with breakneck speed and send him so make sure you get a serve with a letter of interdiction. Remember, he rushed with breakneck speed when on the 4th of July, remember the year, he said that he was waiting on the list, the recommended list of ranks to be promoted. And then on the 2nd of July, 252 persons get promoted. I hope with the same speed he going to rush. And this time here, he will be justified. This time he will be justified. And then you raise the points, Paul. Should he get allowances or just his half of his salary? There's a school authority, your salary, full stop, and nothing more. So I know he gonna make out with all them things we see delivering free food, free maid, free driver, and all those things. So let's look and see what's gonna happen. But I hope that a bishop, I know we have some bishops that we can't trust. I hope the bishop will rush with breakneck speed. By now, Brutus should have gotten his letter of interdiction. That you just preempt certain things. You know when you get in court, you don't prepare the letter of interdiction to start serving. Perhaps if they want to be efficient, since he come out court, so he should have done get his letter of interdiction.
All right, you're so correct. Now, someone is asking me to, they said the number is just scrolling across there. The number is small, they can't see it. The number, right, somebody see, it's 718-308-7179. That is the number, 718-308-7179. That's what it is. Thanks, Ivadne. That's what the number is. Now, let me read I love to read God mostly when he reports or when he addresses this issue. And last night, last night he says, it's not long, let me read it to you. Dressed in uniform, Assistant Commissioner of Police Brutus marched up the stairs of the Georgetown Magistrates Court this afternoon to face 240 charges related to various financial crimes. After more than 2 hours before the acting magistrate, only 30 of the charges have been read to him, and he was granted a total of $6.2 million bail on those charges, with the magistrate indicating that the remaining charges will have to be read to him at a later date. As part of the bail agreement, the Assistant Police Commissioner will have to lodge his passport and report to SOCU once every month throughout the case. The prosecutors had objected to bail, but the magistrate proceeded to grant bail on the charges read out today. The charges read to Mr. Brutus today range from fraud and larceny to money laundering and misconduct in public office. All the charges stem from a 3-month-long investigation conducted by the Police Force's Special Organized Crime Unit. The Assistant Commissioner was not required to enter a plea to the charges and offered no comment during his way in and out of the courtroom this afternoon. Also appeared in court today to face conspiracy charges were the Assistant Commissioner's wife, Andonika Alder, his former driver, Kevin George, and Garden of Eden businessman Asraf Zafarali. They were each granted bail in the sum of $1 million for the charges that were read to them. They are facing charges in relation to the payment for the supplies of goods to the Guyana Police Force Consumer Squad Complex and the alleged non-supply of the goods. The attorneys for the businessmen, Mr. Glenn Animon and Everton Singlami, told the court that the businessman is still open to settling the matters against him and has been cooperative with SOCU. Let me read about the businessman attorney told the court that the businessman is still open to settling the matters against him and has been cooperative with SOCU. The attorneys explained that if he is currently finding difficult to provide for his family since his bank accounts were also frozen by the High Court as part of the probe. The pregnant wife of the Assistant Commissioner is facing the conspiracy and money laundering charges. She remained silent throughout her appearance at the courthouse. Our bank account and the bank accounts of our businesses were also frozen by the court. The accounts contained more than $300 million. SOCU has said that the wife's companies were used to supply goods for the police force, but in many instances, it is alleged that the goods that were procured were never delivered even after full payments were made. And it was documented as if goods had been delivered. In the case of the former driver of the Assistant Commissioner, Kevin George, who is also a policeman, it is alleged that he was involved in the movement of money through accounts bearing his name. He is facing multiple money laundering charges in addition to larceny charges and misconduct by public official charge. He is being represented by the same attorneys that representing Brutus representing him. The charges were filed after four. The charges were filed. Let me read about. The charges were filed against the four today based on the investigation of the Special Organized Crime Unit. The investigation initially focused on entries in the police credit union accounts of the Assistant Police Commissioner. However, after SOCU received additional information from the Financial Intelligence Unit, it expanded its probe and uncovered the multiple accounts linked to the Assistant Commissioner, his wife, their toddler son, and 3 companies registered to them. Those accounts were found to have 500 million, and during the SOCU probe, also uncovered large withdrawals in recent months and purchase of properties. 8 of the 9 accounts were frozen by the court. Brutus has maintained in his innocence. Brutus has maintained his innocence. Now, share, I'm going into the meat of the thing now. You believe that was the meat? Nah, that is hors d'oeuvres. That is snacks. That is cutters. Now for the main thing. I'm going to read some of the particulars of the charge. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read them one, and then I'm going to invite Mr. Carrier to come in and make his comment. I got about 10 of them. I don't know if we can get you all this morning, but I'm going to read some for you to understand what is happening. The first one I'm going to read, this is not necessarily in the order in which they were filed, but this is the order you can read them. The first one says, statement of offense, misconduct in public office, contrary to common law. That is a statement of the offense. And for those of you who know, when you're charged, you get a statement of the offense. In other words, you're going to refer to what law is violated. And then you get the particulars of the offense, which tell you exactly what was done. The particulars will reveal the illegal act that is being alleged. Right? So hear what it says as you continue to share. Calvin Brutus, being Assistant Commissioner of Police whilst performing the duty of Deputy Commissioner Administration for the Guyana Police Force on Thursday, the 16th of November, 2023, at the Guyana Police Force Headquarters, Ivlery, Kingston, Georgetown, in the Georgetown-Madisilo District, County of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, willfully misconducted himself while performing the said duties. That is to say, he instructed Woman Special Inspector Collins of the Guyana Police Force Consumers Cooperative Society Limited to prepare and encash a check number, they put the number, in our name for the sum of $20 million from the police consumers' current account, and the number is there, held at the Republic Bank Limited for the purpose of purchasing of police regulation shoes, boots, and Navy drill for the Guyana Police Force Quartermaster Store, and caused the said $20 million Guyana currency to be handed over to him by the said Woman Special Constable Collins, knowing that the said items were not supplied or delivered to the Guyana Police Force Quartermaster Store without any reasonable excuse or justification. So there's one particular that they are alleging in the misconduct of charge, misconduct of public office. That is the charge. And again, we say, based on what happened, the charges are indictable, meaning he was not required to plead. But I suspect that at some stage, they're going to apply the AJA, which is the Administration of Justice Act, which allows for an indictable charge to be proceeded with summarily. Again, teaching, if it remains indictable, it means a PI, preliminary inquiry, is likely to be held, and then it goes up to the judge and jury. It's a long process, but just very quickly forget your idea. Now, if it is the AJ is applied, then the matter is disposed of summarily. Then the magistrate will deal with it. Our next difference, if it goes to the judge and jury, it remains an indictable charge. It goes to the judge and jury. Then the penalty, if found guilty, is likely to be more severe than if it is disposed of at the magistrate level. Mr. Conway, please come in and give your comments on what I have said so far. Yeah.
Well, I was saying it is so shocking. Here it is, allegations, and I repeat no allegations, that it causes inspector from the police consumers write out a check, $20 million for items that were purchased but were not delivered. You know, but then we made a point earlier, some time ago, that even if you give them an order, and you feel that this order is not lawful, you're not bound to carry it out. You're not bound to carry it out. And here it is, $20 million for item purchase and nothing was delivered. Making the point that if you get the order and it's not lawful, you're not bound to carry it. And I always remember when they had the inquiry, Discipline Service Commission, when they questioned Minister Gadraj about all the unlawful orders that he gave to Commissioner McDonald for him to upgrade people gun, a known killer gun, and all sort of things. And Gadraj used one sentence. I always remember that sentence. Commissioner McDonald should have been guided by the Constitution and his conscience. So all those persons who get in unlawful order and carrying it out, they're going to end up in worries. They're going to end up in serious problem. And even Paul, you always talk about Nuremberg trial, where even the general gives a private soldier an order, which is unlawful. The private in bound to carry it out. But if you carry it out, sorry for you. When the chips fall, they're going to fall on you. So this is a case where the police consumers' money allegedly gone to Brutus.
Yeah, and we got to emphasize, because we have been singing this over and over to the ranks. You cannot be compelled to carry out an unlawful order. And as a policeman, whichever rank you have, you ought to know what is lawful and what is unlawful. And it's for you to decide whether you're going to carry out an unlawful order and face criminal consequences, or whether you're going to decide, look, I am not carrying out this unlawful order, and perhaps be victimized with promotion and all that. You make a decision. I know it is not an easy one. When I took that decision back in 2003 to tell the judge that I'm not carrying out the order to return the firearm, I considered the consequences. And I decided I'm going to do the lawful thing, notwithstanding all the threat by Gadraj and the president and all them. I said, no, I'm doing what is lawful. And nobody's going to bully me to do what is unlawful or what is unethical. I ain't going down the road. So there's one of the charges of misconduct in public office. Now let me read the next one. Yeah, we get a little time. Let me read the next one. This one talks about money laundering in contravention of Section 131E of the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering of Financial Terrorism Act, Chapter 10:01, Kel:11, contrary to Section 682 of the said Anti-Money and Countering of Financial Terrorism Act, Chapter 10:01. Particulars of offense. Yeah, share. Particulars of offense. Calvin Brutus on Sunday, the 24th of March, 2024, at Georgetown, in the Georgetown Madisile District, County of Demerara, State of Guyana, acquired, hold on, let me get the word a little blurred. Acquired, processed, or used the sum of $20 million and paid same to somebody named mentioned here, I'm going to call the name, two names, being full payment for the purchase of the property situated at lot B1 of the west half of portion of block letter N, some section in the north half of Klein Podrine, West Bank, Demerara, knowing or having reasonably grounds to believe that the said sum of money, or the said sum of $20 million, in whole or in part, derived directly or indirectly from the proceeds of crime. So this is one of the anti-money laundering. This is one of the money laundering charges you get. Basically, what they're saying here is that he takes some $20 million and paid to those two people with some property at Podrine, and he ought to know that they're saying that he knew that the whole $20 million or part thereof was derived directly or indirectly from the proceeds of crime. These things are being read. These are allegations being made against an assistant commissioner of police. That laundering money, taking illegal money and buying property. And we saw an allegation some time ago where somebody alleging that one of the men involved in the investigation may have given $5 million towards the purchase of this property. I see they came out with a statement, but they did not address this $5 million part, whether in fact people did in fact give this $5 million. We don't know. And again, I say these things require proper, credible investigations. So this is the second allegation that I've read, the money laundering allegation, claiming that some $20 million to buy some property. And they say that the $20 million I didn't own or in part, was the proceeds of crime. In other words, the $20 million they're saying was illegally acquired. It was acquired by criminal activities, and then you use it to clean it up by buying property, and that is where the money laundering comes in. CC, I want you to comment on this part of it. Let me hear your comments on this, my brother.
Well, allegations again, we're saying that use $20 million proceeds of crime to purchase a property on the West Dam. According to the allegation, there is money laundering and part of what we call washing the money, making the money very, very clean. But as we mentioned, those are allegations, and those are serious allegations, and serious allegations that would cause the DPP to recommend or to advise charges in relation to money laundering. We've been hearing about these allegations all along the time. But here is yet another case where they're saying Brutus attempted to, or allegations of money laundering, where money, part of the proceeds of crime, being used to purchase property with the intention to make it look as though it is clean and is a clear transaction, when its essence is an attempt, according to the law there, to wash the money and to make it look clean. But those were the advice of the DPP, and let's see what's going to come out of that.
They wash the money, you get dirty money. In other words, I'm not saying this, but I'm not saying Brutus did this. I'm saying that when you get dirty money, the process of trying to make it clean by washing it, buying property, investing there, that is what the money laundering is all about. You get this money, dirty money, either you thief the money, either you do something to get this dirty money, and then you have to go through a process to clean up the money. That's the laundering, you're washing it. So that is the allegation with the money laundering on that account, on that one. Now let me read the next money laundering allegation to you. Money laundering again, same section and all sort of thing. But here was the facts in this one. That Calvin Brutus, between the 5th of January 2024 and the 24th of June, sorry. You forgive me, they write a little fine. The 24th of March 2024 at Georgetown, in the Georgetown Manatee District, County of Demerara, State of Guyana, acquired, possessed, or used the sum of $85 million and paid same to some trading limited here, being full payment for the purchase price of the property situated at the east half of Lot 136, 5th Street, Albertown, Georgetown, knowing or having reasonably grounds to believe that the said sum of $85 million in whole or in part derived directly or indirectly from the proceeds of crime. You hear money what we're talking about? The next money laundering charge is alleging that Brutus took $85 million. We were talking about this property at 5th Street, Albert Street and 5th Street there, that used to house Frenzy's Bar, a very popular bar. They're saying that he took $85 million and he bought this property. And we told you before that it is said that the property was immediately demolished. They broke it down. It was a good, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know the building. He broke it down, and then they said too that during the course of the demolition, a whole set of police had to turn out to stop traffic and to do all kind of things there. So he is charged in respect to that. where they're saying that this $85 million that was used to purchase this property was the proceeds of criminal activity. Mr. Conway, come and help me out here again. Yeah, $85 million.
Similar facts, but this time it moved from 20 millions to 85, no? 85 million. And we heard eventually that they was purchased, they pull it down, and then we heard allegations there that during the process, ranks in uniform were deployed to be there to make sure that everything run smoothly. The allegation is attempt to wash the money, to make the money look clean, proceeds of crime. There again, and we're saying also that those were advised from the DPP for charges to be laid.
Yeah. Joel, I agree with you. A lot of people are going to lose their work, likely, if the thing go right. But, again, we were warning them, my brother. We saw this and we were warning them, do not carry out unlawful orders. Do not. And you ought to be able to complain to someone. It's difficult, but I'm arguing an unlawful order and so on, somebody senior to you and so on. Don't take the bullying. Do not take the bullying. Reach out for help. Talk to somebody. Go to some lawyer. File some complaints. You get police complaints authority and all of those people. You get the ombudsman. Use the system to protect yourself. But you're going to go and carry out an unlawful order. And what is going to happen? What is going to happen at the end of the day? People say, I never give you any such order. Unless you have the order in writing. I learned a trick when I was a commander. Senior people, I remember a particular case, a senior officer. I learned so much. I remember one day he called me, I was at TSU, a young officer at TSU. He called me to give me an instruction which I believe was not on the up and up. He might have made a mistake. He was a decent, respectable man. And I tried to tell him, sir, this thing can't work so and work so. He tried to use rank on me. I said, all right. I went back to the TSU where I was in charge. And I wrote a nice little memo to him, seeking to clarify the instruction. I wrote, I said, Chief, I just want clarification on the instruction that you gave me. I'll appreciate if you can clarify that you are ordering me to do so. The man pick up the phone. I never forget that. He called me, he said, slow boy, you're learning a lot of tricks. You do a lot of tricks. All right, don't bother. Yeah, because I wanted him to commit it to writing. So that when the oscillation, when the defecation, it's the oscillation. Or as they would say, when the shit in the fan, iron getting splatter. So I reduced it to writing and asked him to confirm that is what he wanted me to do. And he recognized that is a trap at the setting for you. And he called me, he said, slow boy, you're learning, don't do that. All right, don't worry with the instructions. I said, thank you. So these officers that we have, these policemen, have to understand, yes, Cheryl, CYA, cover your ass. Some of them get big ass. It's not easy to cover. But cover it nevertheless. Something, get a bed sheet or something and cover it. You all got to learn. You all got to learn these things. You can't just sit down there puffing your chest and tell yourself you're an officer. I'm an officer, and you know your ace from your ass. You got to learn. And many of these things are not taught at any formal institution. Let me understand it. Let me read the next one. This one relates to conspiracy to commit a felony, to wit, obtaining by false pretense contrary to Section 33 of the Criminal Law Offences Act, Chapter 8:01. Particulars of this offense says that Calvin Brutus, Kevin George, and Asif Zafarali on Saturday, the 29th of June, 2024 at Georgetown, in the Georgetown Ministerial District, County of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, with intent to defraud, conspired with each other to uplift the sum of $71 million. Let me read that back. $71,482,950 Guyana currency from the Guyana Police Consumers Co-op Society Limited for goods that were never supplied. For goods that were never supplied, $71,482,950. $482, $950. That is the giant charge with Brutus, his driver, Kevin George, and this businessman, Asaf Zafrali, who they say willing to make a deal, right? Willing to make a deal. So they so this is one the charges too. And I should have told you that, we say, this is a information upon oath. So once you get the information upon oath, the person who filed the charge has to swear to the information. And all the charges that were sworn to, that we know of, they were sworn to by Superintendent Singh from Soku. Superintendent Singh from Soku is the deponent. He deposed in all of these charges. So run-ins, some $71,482,950. They said they conspire to get this thing from the police. The goods were supplied to the police consumers co-op, and then the goods were never supplied. Let me read the next one here now. This one says, what this one is one? Conspiracy again, right? The same three people, Calvin Brutus, Kevin George, and Asif Zafrali, on Tuesday, the 9th of July, 2024, at Georgetown in the Georgetown Mansfield district in the county of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, with intent to defraud, conspired with each other to uplift the sum of $22,165,300 Guyana currency from the Guyana Police Consumers Co-op Society for goods that were never supplied. Tell me, Mama. Let me tell you something. I got a soft spot for the police consumers, because back in the day, when I joined the force, you used to get your consumers book. You get credit for $50 a month, $50 a month. And I used to authorize my sister. We lived together there with my father, when my stepmother died, to go and collect ration every month. $50 to buy ration for the three of us to see us through the month. I'm going to get me a little extra duty and so on to buy the little meat and so on. But you go to the consumers, you get rice, flour, sugar, oil, onion, potato, garlic, and all them things with a $50 credit every month. Every month. So I always had a soft spot for the police consumers. And this is what they do. They're licking up the police consumers. We talk about $90-something million they get for goods. And it's done there, you're going to hear about more about the police consumers. Let me bring in Mr. Kami if you want to say anything about that too that I just read. See, a button and the scoring runs.
You're scoring and you're scoring freely too, You're scoring freely. I always remember the police consumers, and I always remember Larry Lewis. When people lick up the same police consumers, And Larry Lewis had passed the other day that when the police buy in, they must buy through the police consumers. I mean, they used to put up their markup price, but that's how the police consumers survive. And right now, if you go in the police consumers, they ain't get nothing inside there. I remember as a young constable and even a corporal and sergeant used to go here with your credit there $50 a month or whosoever, But here it is that they're saying that things purchased, nothing and receive. And we're going to hear the allegation is that they're going to move from the police consumers to the quartermaster stores, where it's items purchased but nothing received, but it show that it got, And those persons who made entries that things went in there on unlawful entries, that things have consequences. Remember you, Paul, when you deny the request from Gadraj to hand over a weapon, and President Jack Dio get involved, deny you promotion to deputy commander. There were consequences because other people suffer. I remember the next person in line was Iradi Whitaker. He retired as assistant commissioner. He was the number one man. I was the number two man as assistant commissioner. I think Kit John was the number three man. And all of us suffered. When I say suffer that we didn't get the deputy commissioner, but we survived. But things have consequences. Sometimes it not only will affect you, but it will affect others. But somebody mentioned that you got to be careful because you got CYA. You got to cover your ass, or you got to SYA, save your ass. And if you don't CYA or SYA, we used to use a management term, you get kicked out. KITA, you get kicked in the ass. So you got to be careful. Whatever you do, there are consequences that will follow.
Whatever you do, there got consequences. Negative consequences, positive consequences. You got to make your choice whether you want to go down in the negative part. Here the next charge. This is lastly by public officer contrary to section 185 of the Criminal Offences Act, chapter 8:01. Oh my God, remember this is only number 6. At some stage we talking about 240 at this. And here what this one says. It says that the particles of offense Calvin Brutus between the 28th of November 2023 and Wednesday the 29th of November 2023, between the 28th and the 29th, at the Guyana Police Force headquarters, Ivlery, Kingston, Georgetown, in the Georgetown, Manasil District, County of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, being a public officer employed by the Guyana Police Force, stole the sum of $60 million Guyana currency belonging to the Guyana Police Consumers Co-op Society. Oh my Lord! It says they're alleging that the thief $60 million Guyana currency belonging to the Police Consumers Cooperative Society. Then, Mark, the consumers used to have a meet, and here, in addition to all of this, thieving, what they are alleging, they must say in the document that being a board member of this very consumers, you get in stipend. I used to be a board member of the police consumers. I never got no stipend. I chaired several meetings of the Guyana consumers, the police consumers board. Never get a stipend. At Christmas time, they're gonna give a little gift. But they now, every meeting that they chair, I understand, that is what is being alleged. Every meeting that they chair, some of them who have chaired the meeting, they got to get big money as payment, as a stipend for attending the meeting. And many people say the allegation is that many of them, senior ones, whether they attend or not, they get in the stipend. It's lick up. Serious lick up. We were alluding to it all the time, but the statements are here. And here the next one say now, lastly by public officer, right? The Calvin Brutus on Thursday, the 16th of November 2023, at the Guyana Police Force headquarters in Ivlery, Georgetown, being employed in Guyana Police Force, stole the sum of $20 million Guyana currency belonging to the Guyana Police Consumers Cooperative Society. $20 million belonging to the Guyana Consumers Cooperative Society. So you got a $60 million, you got a $10 million. And here it ain't done yet. It ain't done yet. Here this one talks about misconduct in public office. It said Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, whilst performing the duty of Deputy Commissioner Administration for the Guyana Police Force between May, the date a little thing, between Monday, the 1st of January, it looked like, on the 24th and Wednesday, the 31st of January 2024, the Guyana Police Force headquarters, Ivlery, Kingston, Georgetown, in the Georgetown, Manasil District, County of Demerara, in the state of Guyana, willfully misconducted himself while performing the said duties. That is to say, he instructed Superintendent of Police Barat Posad, Finance Officer of the Guyana Police Force, to submit to him 221 payment vouchers as per schedule attached relating to AAA Depot and South Quarter Contracting and General Supplies, Inc. Both businesses registered to his wife on the Alicia Alder, and he never returned the said 221 vouchers payment vouchers to the police finance office without reasonable excuse and justification. So they're claiming that he bullied they didn't say bully, don't let me insult any word. They say that he got the police finance officer, they didn't say finance officer, Barat Posad, to present to him 221 vouchers, and he never returned his vouchers. I'm not sure how that goes. It says misconduct in public office. And then it go to say here too, next one, another misconduct in public office, and that he says, Calvin Brutus, Assistant Commissioner of Police, whilst performing the duty of Deputy Commissioner. Let me go into the meat of the thing. willfully misconducted himself while performing the duties. That is to say, he instructed Woman Special Inspector Collins of the Guyana Police Consumers Co-op Society to prepare and encash a check in our name in the sum of $60 million Guyana currency from the Police Consumers Co-op account number so held at the Republic Bank Limited for the purpose of repairs and maintenance of the said Police Consumers building, and cause the said money, 60 million, to be handed over to him by the said Woman Special Constable, Special Inspector, knowing that the said $60 million was not used for the purpose of the said repairs and maintenance of the said Police Consumers building without reasonable excuse or justification. What they're saying here, that you get the inspector in charge there to prepare and encash. Gotta say, she write this check, cash the check, and return and give it to him. This was purported to be money to repair and maintain the building. And they say no such repair or any maintenance was done. See, take little button here now, man. Take little button. We're going to go a little bit over time because I get one more to read and then we're going to do some analysis. Go ahead, my brother.
You know, it come back to the point we're making all the time, you know. Nobody in pick up them working on there. There weren't no checks and balances or those persons who were complicit. How could all these things happen? Nobody they checking. There weren't no early warnings that hey, these thing are suspicious transactions. Can't imagine a one man doing all these things according to the allegations. Something was wrong. Other persons had to be accountable. Other persons had to be complicit. I really can't understand that all these things happen. No early warnings or persons there, no checks and balances, and nobody, even people aware what's going on, nobody took any kind of action to bring justice into play. Other people have to be involved, man. Other people have to be involved, and I feel this is not the end. I believe charges going to stem for other people and other high-ranking people. Something is definitely wrong.
As the Chinese would say, hold on, let me move this. As the Chinese would say, something wrong. Something wrong. And let me say this. Coming back to the same police consumers, they spoke about board meetings and so on. I used to be at board meetings. And every board meeting, you have to present a financial statement for it to be examined by the board members. Every board meeting. When I was there, Neville Kodangan, I think he's a deputy superintendent now. They put you somewhere. He was there. Every board meeting, you have to present a financial statement for us to see what was the financial health of the police consumers. So these things are not being revealed. And let me tell you this, and this is what they must investigate as well. That's why we say that this thing is not no accident. This thing was deliberately planned and schemed and designed. Because if you check the institutions that have been named, the Police Finance Office so far, the Police Consumers Credit Union, check to see when the people who are in charge there now were put in charge. It is alleged, and I say alleged, that the people who are there and showed some amount of resistance to this illegal, unlawful scheme were removed. They were removed. People at the Police Finance Office, people at the quartermaster stores, people at the same police consumers, the construction section, the police mess at the college there, they were all removed or forced to run so that the people who were installed can be manipulated. Not for them to get the experience, they don't know the thing run, they put them there, and so therefore they were being bullied. We said here that it was alleged that the same Brutus instructed the people at the finance office that whenever they saw a signature on any document, it is not to be queried. That was the allegation. That was so much so that what happened then, the same driver George, I have the receipt so you can call the name, the same driver George and the secretary, Marcia Lewis. The records show that they get advances, large cash advances in the sum of $200,000 on each occasion to say they're going in the interior and conduct investigation. One such advance was made out and paid on the 24th of December 2020. The men investigators, one is a driver, one is a secretary, female secretary, and they signatured upon advance form with Brutus approving it to go and do all of the investigating. We tell you the general knowledge, we should have investigated all of those things. It is not too late. It is not too late. So the system was manipulated to install people who were going to comply with these unlawful instructions. Again, I said he's innocent until found guilty. He's presumed innocent until found guilty. That is the rule. But what we're reading here is document that is before the court, not the secret. Nothing secret. These are the charges that were read to him yesterday. And let me read the last one for this morning, and we're going to deal with more. Let me read the last one for this morning. Share the live, man. Share the live. Give me the thumb button. And remember the Zelle number scrolling across the bottom there. We have what? Almost 2,000 people on the live and only 100 and something, 160 something thumbs up. Y'all are doing well. All of this valuable, credible information you're getting, and you're not showing your appreciations. I don't want to say that you're ungrateful. I don't want to call you Nimakaran. I don't want to do that. But show your appreciation, please. And I'm in a joyful mood this morning, man. And then when you see the wickedness, I tell you, when you dig hole for your mati, dig two. Kawanga will be for you too. Right? And let me read the last one that I have here this morning. It's talk about misconduct in public office again. It says Calvin Brutus, assistant commissioner, that's the deputy commissioner acting, right? Calvin Brutus, assistant commissioner of police, while performing the duty of deputy commissioner. Let me go to the facts here now. That is to say, he instructed Superintendent of Police Bharat Prasad, finance officer of the Guyana Police Force, to prepare 2 checks numbering so to the sum of one for $6 million and the other for, let me see the other sum, for some other amount, $6,471, and the other one is for $7,198,524, total amount of $13,670,204 from the Guyana Police Force Central Welfare Fund account number L of the Republic Bank Limited to be used for the purpose of the payment of goods supplied to the Guyana Police Force, a purpose other than for which monies from the Guyana Police Force Central Welfare Fund is to be used without any reasonable excuse and justification. What they're saying here, goods were supplied. They take the welfare money, 13 million, you get Bharat to start to give check for $13,670,204. We say the supplying goods. And the Central Welfare Fund is not for that. We said it over and over here. The Central Welfare Fund, as the name implies, is to take care of welfare needs of ranks. You're in the hospital, they're going to use the fund to buy a pajama for you. You got to go and see the doctor, you got to get a little medication and so on. They use the Central Welfare Fund for that. A rank want a little soft loan for buy school uniform and so on for your child, and so on. You use the Central Welfare Fund. But they're using the Central Welfare Fund for the purpose for which it is what that intended. That's clear misconduct. And then they're licking up the money. We talk about the Central Welfare Fund being in serious financial distress. It has been revealed now. Serious financial distress. And we see why. There's another big scandal with the same Central Welfare Fund. I hope there's one of the charges that have been filed. And if that is one of the charges, as Mr. Conway is implying, big people involved in it too. Not only Brutus, and as people have been commenting, saying here, this level of skullduggery and criminality, others are involved. You were saying it all the time. There's no way Brutus by himself could have been able to do all of these things. No way. We talk about the police finance office. We talk about the Ministry of Home Affairs, the PS being the accounting officer. Many people, what happened to the Auditor General's office? What happened to the Ministry of Finance? They're not seeing that something wrong. They're not seeing. So all the man end up getting $800 million. And the question is asked, if he get $800 million, how much more the others get? Because I hear that the man and get the most. He might get the most charges at this stage. He might get the most property. He might get the most bank accounts. But when it comes to money, it might pale into insignificance compared to what others have. It requires a comprehensive investigation that SOCU is not qualified to do. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his closing remarks, and then I'm going to wrap up. CC, go ahead, please.
We're making a point all the time that SOCU cannot really do a credible investigation. And this investigation is wide-ranging. It's wide-ranging. It requires a massive store. We talk about the welfare fund. We talking about the Lano driver fund. That all the funds, and what they did systematically over a period, over a 2-year period. I think the last count I had, I think about 23 persons from the police finance office were transferred. Experienced persons. So they bring what we call green dongs there. Green dongs. So that they can tell them what to do. And the point is that this investigation has got to widen. It's got to widen. It's got to deepen, because many other departments involved and many other persons involved. And it's got to be properly investigated. And looking forward, I hope they'll have a proper prosecutor or prosecutors to deal with the trial, to be fair to both the defense and the prosecution. Find proper prosecution. I don't come with no King's Counsel from Trinidad. Find proper prosecutions to deal, because charging is only one part of the criminal justice system. The other part is the trial. Persons get charged, and let's make sure that we have a proper trial.
You have to have proper prosecutors. The matters must be properly presented. We don't want here, like what we heard a few days ago, file can't be found with the matter, with the man with the gun and all the things on the East Bank, file can't be found. I have experience, but I suspect that what is going to happen here is that the state, given the acrimonious relationship that has developed between Brutus, who was once their boy, my boy, you're not promoting my people, between them and all the allegations and what the vice president said yesterday and so on, I believe they're going to retain a proper team to present this case, to prosecute this 240 hearing cases, the 240 charges. I believe they're going to do so. I believe they're going to put together a big team. Money is no issue here, man. We have deep pockets. You think it's Brutus alone get deep pockets? Deep pockets are here. So that is what I suspect is going to happen, right? And we will wait to see. But let me tell you all this, folks. Breaking news. We ain't got time to go into it today. Breaking news. I'm just saying that the head of SOCU has sued journalist Leroy Smith. We haven't got you the details yet. Lord, the thing got in tweet. Karimba sued Leroy Smith. I don't know the details, but he did threaten, because Leroy Smith said something about some money being paid and so on, and he did say, Karimba said it is false, and they're going to seek legal action. I'm going to read it, and if not, Monday we going to come on the way, we'll tell you the thing, man. Monday, I'm going to tell you, the same Leroy Smith who seems to have been batting for Brutus, he attacked SOCU, either the organization, the department, or individuals, how then compete, also other things saying, how they're trying to fishing, and Brutus made the same claim Wednesday night, out there on a fishing expedition. Well, this fishing expedition is one I want to go upon, because look at they catch 240 big fishes at this stage. Big fishes. He made all sort of wild accusations. I don't know how he can substantiate. Then he come out and ball to say it's attack on press freedom, and let me see where it will go. Let's see where this will go. Folks, as I leave you, let me tell you yesterday. Thursday, Thursday we have this big show. Enid and Chimakume. It was a big bacchanal yesterday with Enid and Chimakume. Big comments the other day or yesterday with Enid and Chimakume. But I see a short clip with a press conference or a so-called press conference held by the man who they say is the second vice president Jack Dew. The man said, let me read what the man said. The man said Bench Cup was the reigning queen in prison for 3 years. That's what the vice president said. The vice president said that Bench Cup was the reigning queen in prison for 3 years. He said they were even trying to smuggle wig and lipstick for him in the prison. He said he know that because he was president and they gave him the report. We can talk more about this on Monday. A vice president sitting at an official so-called press conference at the headquarters of the ruling party is making a statement to say that Bench Cup, who they are charged with treason and who spent, he claims 5 years, Bench Cup said 5 years in solitary confinement in the prison. They say the vice president said yesterday, I'm going to show you all it on Monday. I got time now. The vice president is saying that Bench Cup, and according to Bench Cup was the reigning queen in the prison for 3 years. End the quote. You think Guyana is a real place? Yeah, y'all think Guyana is a real place? That's what the vice president is saying. And I'm going to talk more about it on Monday. Because to me, it is so inappropriate to be coming from such a person. So inappropriate. But it shows that they're going mad. They're going crazy. The truth, according to Michael Young, speak the truth and shame the devil. Michael Young, you know what Michael Young are talking about? Not the one was the police. The other Michael Young at the police communication branch, and I are talking about the one from Germany. The Michael Young from Germany. From that company in Germany, the Volkswagen company, that is the one I'm referring to. Right? So I can't imagine this, but it is true. I'm going to play it because some of you haven't believed that a vice president will sit at what is called a press conference and makes a statement like that. Y'all ain't gonna believe. So I'm gonna play it on Monday. God's Spirit Life over here. I'm gonna play it.
These people can be vile and nasty. If I tell you what I know of Bench Cup, it gets sickening. He was the reigning queen in the prison for 3 years. And the thing is that people, the prison officers, people were carrying food, they were trying to smuggle in a wig and lipstick for him there. I know that because I was president, they gave me reports.
Hey, folks, you can't beat that. You can't beat these things. You can't beat it. That's what you ordered for yourself. That's the vice president of Guyana making a statement like that to the media. And as I said, I can't end without he made another statement too. You remember this one?
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
Yeah, forgive me. That is me therapy. When I feel down, I just play it, and the spirit is that be rejuvenated, man. Ooh, Su. Folks, I hope you had a good one. I hope you had a good day in class. I hope you took a lot of notes. And I'm going to come and we're going to bring you more information. As I told you, breaking news today is that the head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, Assistant Commissioner Faisal Karimbash, a sued reporter, journalist, what we want to call Leroy Smith. May I see the amount and all this everything yet? But the thing was filed maybe today or yesterday. I don't know when it was filed, but I'm going to bring you the details a little on another programs. Folks, until then, I'm sure you had a wonderful morning in the class. I can see from the reaction of the students and the fact that you had such large numbers here on a Friday, an unscheduled program, tells me that we're doing well. Well, then again, we invite you to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow the page on Facebook so you can get the notification. Who knows? Sometimes things can happen today. We got to come back today or tomorrow. Who knows? So just make sure you do that so you can get a notification whenever we have to come. I also want to ask you again, plead with you to give you the little tap up. Give you a little tap up so we can continue to do the research. We can continue to bring the information to you. The program, as Kadaki was saying, the thing don't run for water, you know. The thing don't run for water. We got to spend time, we got to spend money to make sure we can bring the information to you. The Zelle number is scrolling at the bottom there. It's 718-308-7179. Some people have said if you don't have Zelle, well, we're going to try to establish Cash App or something else at some stage. But for now, it's Zelle. Or you can reach out to me. I can tell you how you can get the little top up to myself. Or you can even reach out to Mr. Conway, those of you who know him. So, folks, that is all for today. God's Spirit Life. We're going to come again as we schedule for Monday. And as I said, if things happen, we're going to come. So until then, stay well, be good, bye.